Dear students, greetings to all. In this module, we'll be continuing with our ongoing chapter of biology, chapter 6, molecular basis of inheritance. In this module, we will be discussing about translation part 2, wherein translation is defined as the process by which amino acids polymerize to form a polypeptide chain. The translation process comprises of three steps referred to as initiation, elongation, and termination. The initiation refers to binding of the mRNA at the start codon, that is AUG, which encodes for methionine. The attachment is such that the initiation codon of the mRNA, it occupies the P site, where P site is referred to as the peptidyl site. A site is referred to as the acceptor site and E site is referred to as the exit site. Initiation requires initiation factors, that is I represented as capital IF. So the initiation factors, they are represented as IF, which are present in the smaller subunits. They catalyze the reaction. The charged tRNA, about which we had discussed in the last module, specific for initiation codon, that is methionine tRNA, reaches the P site. So the initiator tRNA primarily binds to the P site, having AUG on the mRNA. The anticodon for it is UAC on the anticodon loop of the tRNA. Anticodons. Now, what do we understand by this term, that is anticodon? It is a triplet base sequence present on the tRNA, complementary to the base of the mRNA. Specific anticodons, they will establish. So here, when we talk about this anticodon corresponding to this codon, there is formation of temporary hydrogen bond. In eukaryotes, the initiator tRNA is represented as, so we can write it out as tRNA, which is carrying methionine. So it can be represented as tRNA, which carries methionine. Whereas in case of prokaryotes, it is formilated methionine. Formulation is carried out with the help of the enzyme transformylase, and then it is represented as, it is written as tRNA. At the base, we'll write it as F, because that stands for formulated, and MET at the top, that refers to formulated methionine present in case of prokaryotes. The larger subunit then combines. Here we can see the one depicted in purple, that's the larger subunit of the ribosome, will combine with the 40S mRNA tRNA complex to form the ribosome, and the reaction is carried out in the presence of the magnesium ion, which act as the catalyst. This process requires initiation factors like IF1 in prokaryotes, and the factors in eukaryotes, they are represented as EIF. So here E refers to eukaryotic initiation factors. Now let us talk about the next step, that is, which is referred to as elongation. Elongation, it is defined as the process of formation of the polypeptide chain. So we can see that there is a formation of polypeptide chain, where we can see the amino acids methionine, threonine, histidine being present in the chain over here like this. A charged tRNA, it reaches the A site. So the initiator had established a bond at the P site, and then the charged tRNA, the next one, the second one, it reaches the A site and it gets attached to the mRNA anticodon next to the initiation codon with the help of temporary hydrogen bonds between the codon and the anticodon. So this is the anticodon and this is the codon, and there is a temporary hydrogen bond which is established. Now this process, it requires energy in the form of GTP, and there are also elongation factors which are required. Now there will be bond formation which will take place between the first and the second amino acid, that is between methionine and threonine. There will be the bond which is formed, which is called as peptide bond, and it is represented as CONH. So the bond which is formed is CONH bond. This is formed by linking of two amino acids catalyzed by the enzyme peptidyl transferase. Meanwhile, during the process of connection between the amino acid at the P site, so its tRNA will break, leaving the free tRNA, and A site carries now the peptidyl tRNA, as we can see it over here. The A site now carries the tRNA. Now, because of the translocation, that is the slight tilting or the rotation of the ribosome, we'll see that here the ribosome was at the start site and it has moved over here. That's because of the tilting or rotation on the mRNA. So that will result in the slipping of the A site codon along with the peptidyl tRNA to the P site. So now the one which was there on A site, it has got transferred to P site, and now the A site is again empty or it is exposed, which will attract new tRNA complex. Now the process of bond formation and translocation is repeated again and again till it reaches at the end, that is the stop codon. One by one, each codon on the mRNA is exposed at A site and gets decoded by amino acid incorporation in the peptide chain. The peptide chain continues to grow, as can be seen over here, that we have seen an elongated peptide chain over here. Now, the last step, that is which is referred to as the termination. Translation, that's polypeptide synthesis, terminates when a stop codon. The stop codons are 3 stop codons out of the total 64 codons. There are only 61 which code for the amino acid. 3 are nonsense or stop codon. They are UAA, UGA, and the next one is UAG. So these are the 3 stop codons or the nonsense codons. Now, as they are not recognized by any tRNA, no amino-acyl tRNA will reach the A site and the chain growth will stop. There are no tRNAs for the stop codons. The polypeptide gets completed after the hydrolysis of the P site. So we'll see that there will be no tRNA which will come and bind over here at this site, and the release factors will come and bind. So this complete polypeptide is released in the cytoplasm, and there are the release factors which are GTP dependent. At the time of release, the polypeptide is only primary structure, and then finally it will undergo coiling and form recoiling and folding and form the secondary and tertiary structures respectively. After it, the whole unit will get dismantled, causing the release of the smaller subunit of the ribosome as well as the larger subunit of the ribosome. So the ribosome gets dissociated and the whole complex gets dissociated finally. Now when we talk about the group of ribosomes, when they are associated on the mRNA, they form the polyribosomes or the polysomes. The mRNA, it has got the additional sequence that are not translated, and they're called as untranslated regions. They are represented over here as the UTRs. They're present both on the 5' end as well as at the 3' end. So here at the 5' end before the stop codons, and at the 3' end after the stop codons. They are required for the efficient translation process. So now we can see that translation in action. How does translation basically take place? Here we are having the mRNAs. We are having the complete machinery now. The small unit of the ribosome, the larger subunit having EP and A site. We are having the charged tRNAs. And the enzyme which will help in the formation of the peptide bond, that is the peptidyl transferase. Now we'll see that the unit is formed when the smaller subunit it comes and binds, and then the tRNA and later to it the larger subunits get associated. The starting codon is AUG, which is referred to as the methionine. Initiation, it starts with the methionine tRNA that binds to the P site. So the tRNA having the methionine and the anticodon for AUG comes and binds to the P site, which is the peptidyl site. The next step which takes place is the elongation, wherein the second amino acid, second tRNA, activated tRNA, having the amino acid that is threonine, it comes and binds at the A site. Now there is formation of peptide bond. The next step will be the formation of peptide bond with the help of the enzyme peptidyl transferase. So CONH bond is formed between methionine and threonine. Next is the elongation process, wherein we will see that methionine, threonine, and the next amino acid, that is histidine, has come and bound on the A site. Now this amino acid, it came and bound over here because of the slight tilting of the ribosome, because of which this threonine which was present on the A site got shifted to P site, and the one which was present on the P site got shifted to A site. E site. So the E is the exit site. The tRNA will get eliminated from here, and the addition will keep on taking place at the A site, which will then get shifted to P site because of the tilting of the ribosome, and then the A site will become again exposed for accepting the new activated tRNA. Thus we see that the elongation process, it proceeds with the tilting of the ribosomes and the shifting of the tRNAs from the P site from the A site to the P site, and from the P site to the A site, leaving exposed the A site for accepting new charged tRNA. Finally, here we'll see that now the ribosome has reached the end of the chain that has got the nonsense of the stop codon. So here there's presence of the stop codon, and there is no tRNA, activated tRNA, which has got the anticodon for UAA. And thus the release factors will come and bind over here, and that will cause the release of the polypeptide chain. So the termination takes place when the stop codon is reached. Here we'll see that the polypeptide gets released in the medium, leads to dissociation of the larger and smaller subunit, and also the enzyme peptidyl transferase. So here the dissociation takes place and the polypeptide chain is released. At the time of release, the polypeptide has got primary structure. Afterwards, it will undergo folding and recoiling to have secondary and tertiary structure. In this module, we had carried out a detailed discussion on translation, the underlying steps, initiation, elongation, and termination. In the next module, we will be discussing about lac operon. In this module, we had carried out a discussion on translation. Hopefully, you must have garnered all the concepts thoroughly. Thank you.